Mortgage rates have changed drastically over the past couple years. Scott Shasky is a licensed senior mortgage loan originator at Lenspart Mortgage, and he joins us today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Did you have a good New Year's?
It did, yeah.
Good.
And by the way, happy birthday to my wife. Today's her birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday. She gets a kind of a holiday birthday this year.
Yeah, she hates that. Yeah, she hates that.
So we are talking about mortgage rates, and we're also talking about credit scores as we head into the new year, and many people might be checking their pocketbook, trying to improve their finances.
Right, yep.
So when we look at the mortgage rates, what are we looking at right now? If we're looking, we'll say a 30-year.
Yeah, 30-year, right around 6.5%.
Okay.
Which, if we go back 30 years ago when I started, great rate.
Yeah.
Great rate.
Right.
You know, if we look at 2 years ago, stinky rate.
Yeah.
You know, so, and they will be coming down.
How do you know?
Well, we can't be in this recession forever.
But will they go down in the next year?
Probably not the next year.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
You know, but probably a year and a half to 2 years.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what advice would you have for people who maybe they have a loan right now or a mortgage right now, or they're looking to purchase a house and utilize a mortgage, and that rate is maybe a little intimidating for them?
It would be, and I totally get that. A good example, I have this customer, they weren't even going to look for a house. They found their dream home on 52 acres, cherry wood, 5 bedrooms, 3-car garage, in the perfect location. Never thought they're going to find a house like this.
Yeah.
They're buying it.
Okay.
They're buying it.
Yeah.
And their attitude is, we'll just refinance in a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah, and that's
You know.
that's something you can do. Okay, we had that graph up there, right? Let's pull
Yeah,
it up
bring
one
that
more
up.
time.
So
what are
when
we
I'm talking
looking
about credit scores, so don't look at it.
at? Okay.
We're going to play a game here.
Okay.
What % of the credit score do you think your payment history would comprise?
I don't know. 30%.
Wow.
Oh,
Did
I get it
you
right?
look?
Oh, I didn't look.
Well, it's pretty,
Okay.
35%.
Oh, 35%. Okay.
Most people say like 70, 80, 90%. 35%.
So, you know, one number that sticks out to me is that 15%, your length of credit history. So if you're looking at a college student that says, I don't want a credit card, I don't want a credit card, would you recommend they get a credit card?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a necessary evil. First of all, you get a flat tire or whatever, you need a credit card to, you need one to walk around on the
Yeah,
planet.
credit over debit. I mean, if you can manage your money, get that credit card.
Credit card is so much better than a debit card. Debit cards, if somebody gets a hold of it or whatever and they charge on it, you're not getting that money back.
Sure.
With credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, you get protections, which this last year alone, I was a victim of identity theft 3 times.
Really?
And my wife twice.
Yeah.
So and we got that money back very quickly.
Right.
So, but the type of credit matters as well. For example, is it better to have $100,000 owed on a mortgage loan or $100,000 owed on Visa? Obviously
Right.
the mortgage loan.
Right.
But the fascinating thing about credit scores is there's 2 important dates every month on a credit card. One of them is your due date, when your payment is due by. But guess what the other date is?
I don't know. What?
Okay, your statement date.
Oh, yeah.
Your state. Now, like, why is that so important? Well, you can, if we can bring up, there we go, perfect. That's actually a screenshot of one of my cards. So I pay in full every month. But wait a minute, it shows a $195 balance. Well, I pay in full, and I made my last payment a week or so ago, due by January 4th, and I paid in full. But the balance you see there is the balance from December
A month
4th
ago.
until now.
Yeah, which can be confusing.
Right, and the statement date, that's important because when the credit card reports to the credit bureau, when do they do that? They do it on the statement date. So, my upcoming statement date, January 4th, is going to show my balance is $194.
Sure.
That $194, I'm going to pay that tomorrow. I actually pay twice every month on my credit cards, not once. I pay the first one before the due date, and then I sneak in a day before the statement date and pay the remaining
Sure.
balance. That way it'll show my credit score.
Yeah, and if you can do that, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
we are running out of time here. I want one more tip from you for folks who are trying to manage their money this new year. When it comes to housing and buying a house and your mortgage, what advice? One tip.
Generally speaking, it's cheaper to own a home than it is to rent. People say, oh, wait a minute, you know, I'm paying $1,600 a month in rent for a 2-bedroom apartment. Well, if you're looking at buying a 2-bedroom home with a 1-car garage, you could probably get that for about the same payment per month. But a lot of people say, well, I want to buy a 4-bedroom. Well, now they're comparing apples with oranges.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's going to be cheaper. And a lot of people, they don't think they can afford it. Well, what you want to do first is don't call the realtor, call a banker first, and call a licensed lender. Most bankers, believe it or not, are not licensed. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But call a licensed lender and get that first, because if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, well, I wish I would have known about this 3 months ago, I could have fixed it and got a lower interest rate. And also there's a program through Minnesota Housing where the state will loan you $15,000, no interest, to help with the purchase of a home.
Perfect. Something to look into.
And you
That's
can
great.
actually buy a home with less money out of pocket than rent an apartment for less money out of
Wow.
pocket.
All right, Scott, thank you so much for